Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Man, today, I'm still figuring this out. We'll be reacting to underrated types of friends. Video by Rowdy. Alright. Straight off the top is the friend that's gonna be real with you through thick and thin, bro. He's gonna call you out, or she is gonna call you out on your nonsense when you're being ridiculous. Just is what it is. When you start being goofy because you want to be crying over that girl that's cheating on you after bro been telling you that bitch is cheating on you, but you not trying to hear that because why? Oh, I'm in love. Yeah. That man should leave your goofy head to get heartbroken and leave you there to go, do something crazy. But no, I'm your friend. I'm gonna look out for you, bro. I'm gonna make sure you're good. We gonna bounce back. We gonna get right, bro. Simple, easy. It ain't nothing but a word. Yeah, it's frustrating that you're not listening to me when I'm trying to tell you what's best for you. But hey, man, sometimes you gotta learn the lesson the hard way and find out for yourself. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's number one for me, bro. The friend who's gonna always keep it real, cause I am that friend, and I will always be that friend. You feel me? But let's get into some of these other types. Let's see what Rowdy talking about.
So I have a friend. So I have a friend Wesley who I've known
Shout out
since
to Wesley
5th
Snipes.
grade, and we were friends throughout elementary school, middle school, and high school, and we got up to all sorts of shenanigans in that time. But
Right.
after we graduated high school, we kind of drifted apart because he went to
Right.
Texas A&M and I went to UT Dallas, and we kind of stopped talking to each other in that time. Like literally the only correspondence we had for 2 years after graduation was when I randomly saw his family in a car next to me, and I'm like, wait, hold up, I think I've seen that kid somewhere. Is that Wesley's brother? I did like a triple take because the last time I had seen his brothers, they were like legit jits, like they were tiny. And just seeing them grown up, I'm like, wait, no way these dudes
Damn.
are in high school right now. And I texted Wesley like, bro, I think I just saw your brothers. Like, this is like crazy. We got a kick out of it, but it was one of those relationships where you just naturally drift apart as you get older, which is unfortunate because I considered him to be a really good friend of mine, but life happens. But then this last summer, we finally reconnected after 2 years while meeting up with some of our other friends, and I instantly remembered why this dude is so peak. For context, he has a black cat that he named Lucky. You know how like black cats, the superstition is their bad luck, but he just got a black cat and then he named it Lucky, which is already kind of funny and ironic. But then he said it's named Lucky with an I, like after the rapper, because one thing you got to know about Wesley is that he has peak music taste. Like in high school, he was the first one to ever put me onto J. Paul. And he also put me onto Pierre Bourne's original music, which is actually so good and underrated. I would strongly recommend if you're into rap. But after we caught up this past summer, we started texting more, and he started to put me onto a whole new genre of music, which is like blowing my mind. I'm talking about underground UK rap. First off, Fake Mink, you might have heard of him. Second off, Fang. Third, Jim Legacy. Fourth, Quest E. And then we met up during Halloween weekend and he showed me Bridge Kids, which is like this fever dream cartoon. And then he showed me...
Bro, it's giving friggin' me Cannon, bro. That's what that little animation is going. It's giving a little bit of me Cannon, bro. Not the like good stuff, but just a little bit of it, you feel me? And I don't know, man. I don't think I've had any friends who's put me onto like any real good music, you know what I mean? Like artists. There's artists that we've all already heard of that I know have good songs, but I just personally don't listen to, right? But they would listen to. Like YoungBoy is one for like two of my biggest closest friends, right? But they will listen to that nigga religiously, but I just don't, you know what I mean? but I still fuck with the music sometimes. He has some good songs that I'll be listening to. I'm not gonna hold you. But yeah, man, I can't really like think because I kind of just always had a all around kind of taste for music, you know? It's not really much of anything specific besides rap, but you know, that's a given. You know what I mean?
The one chip challenge in the hood and homeless pop the balloon. And like this is why you gotta have friends with peak
Bro, I
media
seen this
taste.
one.
One
I
of the
seen this
most
for some
underrated
reason.
friends you will ever have is the dude who will hit you up on a random Tuesday night and say, bro, you gotta check out this musical artist. You gotta check out this cartoon. And it'll be the most insane thing you've ever seen that you would have never found by yourself. And if you are this type of friend, I have no clue where you find these things, but you're a
internet,
guy
bro.
who knows ball, and your taste is impeccable. Another type of underrated friend that my high school self like literally couldn't
Nigga
live
look crusty
without
in this
is
picture, bro.
all of my friends who gave me rides back in the day, because I didn't have my driver's license until my first semester of college. So before that, at literally every social gathering, every school event, like anything, I would hit up my friends like, yo, bro, you think you can give me a lift? Because you don't want your parents to drop you off to a high school social gathering. Like, no. I still remember one of my first memories, my junior year of high school, was when my friend Jay picked me up from my house and we were on the way to one of our school's football games, and I listened to Family Ties for the first time. And I remember I was really anticipating Kendrick's comeback, and you know, this was before he went Dax mode, but I still vividly remember that feeling of being in that car during that sunny evening, and it just
Okay.
felt perfect. And then our school got blown out by Allen. Like, you know, you win some, you lose some. But if you're a high schooler and you live in like a suburban sprawled out area, I would strongly recommend that you get your license sooner rather than later, because I kept pushing that off. And before I got my license, I didn't realize that driving is actually not that hard once you get the hang of it. So
Bro, he is so not raw. Listen to me, bro. I tried teaching my brother how to drive, okay? Before we moved. Okay? Tried. Bro almost crushed me between the car and a stone pillar, bro. But I digress. Okay? Besides the fact that he tried to kill me multiple times whenever I tried to teach him how to drive, he still managed to find his way into getting a license. I think he had to do driving school or some nonsense like that. Right? And he had his permit before I got my permit when we moved, okay? So he got his permit before I got mine. But I had my license like half a year or something along those lines before he got his. So it's like, it was interesting, bro. Bro had gotten a car. He bought a car. No joke. He bought a car before he had his license. And then got his license, I think like 3 months or so after getting the car.
Damn.
What was the point? I don't know. I really don't. But hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Now he's got his license and now he's got the car and he already drove it off the road into a ditch. The car's not banged up and he's not hurt, but he's already spun out in that bit. You know what I mean? But to be fair, I've already spun out in his car too.
Wow.
Listen, man, the winter time doesn't play here. The snow don't play, bro. The ice on the road is dangerous, bro. Listen. It happens, all right? It happens.
definitely would have gotten my license earlier had I known that. But you know, a lot of great times are had when you pack 8 of your friends into a 5-seater car because he's the only one with a whip. The next type of
Facts.
underrated friend is just the guy you can go full tism mode with. I feel like a lot of modern day friendships and relationships in general are just completely performative. Like, people are so afraid of showing any sort of flaw or saying anything that could potentially be original original or controversial or go against the grain that most people just regress into the mean behavior of how they think they're supposed to act. Modern day friendships are literally just a bell curve chart of behavior, which is why most modern day friendships are really lame and boring. But every once in a while, you'll find someone who matches your frequency. They're in that top percentile that you're able to be yourself without any sort of fear whenever you're around them. Like, there's a particular...
Why is there just a Hennessy bottle for this dude?
What?
Jack Daniels. Oh my God. That goes to show. That goes to show. Oh, holy hell. Bro, listen. That is me with like any of my friends. And speaking of which, I need to check this dude's location. See if he's still at the trap or not.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean? See if my weight is getting pushed. Or if he's just playing games. And if I have to go call somebody.
Okay.
Alright, no. Yeah. The product is being moved, chat.
FBI, open up!
He is on the road. The product is being moved. Alright, so... What? Yo, listen. What I'm trying to say is I can be as stupid as I want with damn near any single one of my closest friends, bro. And it's the same way. These niggas will say some of the most outlandish shit I have ever heard, bro. This is not a joke, chat, when I'm about to say this. I have listened to these niggas say to each other from... I think our whole circle got completed around like 10th grade, right? We got a complete circle at around 10th grade, but we started growing from like 7th grade to graduation, bro, of high school, right? These niggas, bro. I don't even want to repeat this for the internet, bro. Just for the simple fact that I don't want y'all stealing our material, bro. Come on, bro. Go find your own material, bro. Go be funny with your own friends. Make your own moments, bro. Oh, man. Shout out to them boys, man. Holy hell. I can't wait to link.
Particular goon that I know that I frequently hang out with, and every time I talk to him, there's some sort of thought-provoking conversation going on. Like, I'll go over to his house and we'll play some UFC, and I'll beat him like 90% of the time, but while we're playing, we'll have an extremely thought-provoking, intense conversation about the existence of free will, followed by an equally intense, thought-provoking conversation about which letter is most useless. It's definitely Q, by the way. Speaking of
definitely
Q,
Z,
you remember
bro.
That game QWOP from back in the day? That has
No.
nothing to do with this video. I just randomly remembered that game. That game sucked. The last type of underrated friend is one that's very hard to find, but I would strongly recommend that you go and seek out because they are extremely helpful, and it is the Unk that gives you wisdom. For me, my older brother and his friends were instrumental in shaping how I viewed the world, not even necessarily by what they told me, but just by me being around them and seeing how they acted. I was able to soak up useful information. For example, one of my older brother's friends graduated UT Dallas with a finance degree, and she went to one of the top investment banks in the country to work. Now, talking to her was extremely important for me because I was an incoming freshman studying finance, and she had just graduated at the top of her class and was going to a very respected job. So I wanted to get more context on how she was able to excel in college and eventually land a high tier position and how she was doing at her new job. But the more I talked to her, the more I realized that she actually didn't like her job too much. She said she was working extremely long 14-hour days, doing a lot of mundane work. She didn't have time for anything else in her life, and she didn't really feel fulfilled with her work. And after I talked to her for a couple times and really gained context for her story, I realized that she had reached the pinnacle of the path that I was going down, but it didn't really seem enticing to me. Like, I'm fine with working long hours, I'm fine with sacrificing a lot of things to focus on my goals, but only if it's my goals. And I didn't really feel like the path that she had gone down aligned with my goals. So I really thought,
bro. All right, I'm gonna let him get this off before I pause before I say what I want
about
to say.
it for a while, and I think talking to her gave me a lot of context on how I want to move forward with my life. And I think that's why it's really important to try to gain friends that are older than you, preferably like a couple years older than you, because they're still in your peer group, so their advice is still relatable and relevant to you, but they're still a couple years older than you, so they have that experience that you can learn from. These were underrated type.
All right, bro. All right. Like I said earlier, I always gravitate around older people listening to their nonsense, okay? So there's a lot of wisdom in my noggins, floggins, area canals that a lot of people don't know I have because of how reserved I am most of the time. I'm an observer, okay? I watch and I listen and I analyze. Hey man, I have no idea what I was trying to say with that, bro. But to touch on his point where he's like, that's not the career path that he wants. Like, I completely understand that, bro. 110% understand it and get that. My mom wants me to go to school, go back to college to do something. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. She is not going to let that go. But I am 110% animate that I am not doing that. I refuse. Y'all know my gripes with school, bro. Regardless of the situation of how I can get in, what degree, all that extra jazz. It's just not gonna be a place I want to be. So it's not gonna be a thing I want to do, because I know I'm gonna get my degree, right, in the field that I would want it in, which would be mechanical engineering, right, or electrical engineering, regardless, either or, something hands-on, something handsy, carpentry, something along those lines. You know what I mean? Because the more things are going towards the internet, the more physical labor skills are gonna be required, right? Because then as soon as people start losing their jobs to these AIs and all that extra jazz, you're gonna want to have people who's able to work with their hands and actually do certain stuff, because those are gonna be the people that's gonna be harder to replace with AIs. But that's a whole different thing, right? I would do something like that, get into the field, right? Have to struggle to find a job, because let's be honest, houses aren't getting built as much as they were being used to, because people aren't buying or paying to have houses built, because they rarely can afford to pay or buy a house that's already been built, that's already been standing for over 20 years. So where are you finding the money to build a whole new house on a brand new plot of land? It's not happening, right? But whereas electrical, you can just go be some sort of electrician somewhere. You can always go do that, right? You can go anywhere and do that, or some kind of mechanic somewhere. You can always do that too, which is why if I ever do go back to school, which is very unlikely to do anything, it's gonna be that there's this one institute that I keep seeing online that teaches you mechanical work on different vehicles, on motorcycles and cars, on luxury vehicles, all that extra jazz. What was it? UIT or UTI? Something along those lines, bro. Yeah, but either way, man, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video or next week. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I have stopped uploading on weekends so I can decompress more, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, Chad, we're gonna have a little bit of a heart-to-heart right now, okay, before I end this video. I feel like for the past few months, starting the year, I've been so fixated and focused on trying to be or do all this extra stuff, and I've been stretching myself a little too thin, and it's been causing me to collapse. It's been causing me bouts of exhaustion and mental fatigue and physical fatigue that I just can't keep going. I don't have the stamina to keep pushing forward with, bro. So I'm starting to take more rest days for myself, so I can allow my body, my mind, and my spiritual energy to reset, bro. Because you need breaks, bro. You need to take a break, bro. I've been trying to do the 7 days a week upload while going to work for 5 days a week, working these long hours, sometimes 6 days a week, working these long hours, still working out and finding time to work out, meal prep, be with my girl, be with my family, deal with shit back home that I have no business dealing with, pay for my multiple vehicles, insurance is trying to kill me. It's just a whole lot going on. It's just a whole lot, chat, you know what I mean? And now I'm looking into starting a business, but that's probably not gonna happen, so I'm just gonna do all the research for it, and then hopefully by the end of the year I can have that or something to show where that is concerned, so I have at least a reason to justify to my mom why I don't feel like I need to go back to school, you know what I mean? So it's just been a lot, man. So I've been taking time. Oh, and I've been trying to study and learn new languages, bro. I've been trying. Okay, I went back to trying to learn Japanese, and now I'm gonna start trying to learn other languages too, like probably, I don't know, something. Who knows? I'll see what interests me, and then I'll go from there. So yeah, on more of my rest days, I'm trying to do more mental workouts, you know what I mean? Just relax my brain, let it ease itself off from all the stresses of thinking and doing all this extra stuff throughout the week that I have to deal with, where work is concerned, where home is concerned, where my relationship is concerned, where my personal life is concerned. It's just been a lot that's been trying to weigh me down lately. So I figured until I feel back to 100%, I should probably just take the weekends off, spend the time with my girl, spend the time with myself, spend the time with my friends, spend the time with my family, just to keep myself from burning out too soon, you know what I mean? Because I really am trying to do a lot all at once. And I don't talk about these stuff very often because I feel like, you shouldn't really be trying to put your business out there too much for the internet. But I don't know, I feel like because of the little burnouts I've been dealing with or going through, my energy has been lower in the videos, and the edits have also been a bit lackluster, and that's kind of affected me too mentally. It's like I feel like I'm doing this, but not because I want to, because I'm not giving it my all, you know what I mean? And that's kind of just aggravating a little bit. So I don't know, there's just a lot going on that I'm figuring out and maneuvering through right now. So I'm just gonna go with it, see what happens, you know what I mean? But yeah, 5 videos a week until I feel up to it again, you know what I mean? And then I'll go back to trying to make 6-7 videos a week. That was not a 6-7 joke, bro. Don't even try me. So yeah, that'll be it for this video, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Sorry for chatting y'all ear off, but then again, you clicked on the video, so you signed up for it. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one, man. Where's my button at? Peace.